tested trainer with us. And we are not only training, we also we are into civil administrative industry. We are into corporate training, information technology, mechanical civil engineering services, cloud services, and HR services. And we ensure that to give the solution within the timeline, that is our unique selling point. So whatever the requirement we receive, we used to give the solution within the timeline. And these are the delivery modes which we support uh, day in, day out with our customer, like ALT, BALT. And we have open house batches and mentor on demand, e-learning. And we do have learning modes. And these are the major learning modes which we support. And these all the trainings can be customized based on the expectations. And these are the authorized partners we are authorized with through third parties. And this is all about our offerings, campus to corporate, and soft skill, and project consulting, and core competencies. And we are not only dealing with in the beginners level to till the CEO levels, we do have trainings in different platforms and based on their needs. And this is all about our specialized training modules. And we also deliver many trainings for leadership, executive level, and level 1 to till level 10 and 12. And with this, all the soft skill training competences which we provide. Now we are delivering this webinar leadership. So we do provide many trainings on design thinking, critical thinking, problem solving. So how to tackle the situations, how to handle everything in detail. And this is all about our competences which we support in the IT. And this is our resources. We have seven in-house trainer. We deployed it in our client location, and we have a 300 plus contractor trainer with us. And we do have a freelancer trainer with more than 8 to 20 plus years of experience. Yeah, and this is our unique selling point. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is a tag we used to follow for all the requirements. Once we receive the requirement, we ensure that we submit the profiles and we submit the solution within the timeline. And this is all about our tag. And this is our day in, day out clients which we are working till now. Yeah, these are the few clients made us stand here today, and very proud to have all the nominations from other clients as well. We're looking forward. And today we have, yeah, today we have Amita with us. So personally, I worked with Amita many years from last 4 or 5 years. So I know very personal touch with Amita that she delivered many training with Pioneer. So very happy, very great feedback where we used to receive always when we have any requirements, we reach out Amita that much close we have. So very happy that Amita is here today as a speaker. And thank you so much, Amita, for taking this opportunity and welcome you for this webinar. And this is all about glimpse about Amita. She is Ignite Transformation, and she has more than 22 plus years of experience in shaping leaders and building a brands and driving into performance. And why is Amita means she is not doesn't train the people, she transform the things. And she herself, she'll give the training, or she will take it very personally, empathizing and energy and expertising. And personally, I had a connection, I have worked with her, so as per that I'm giving you that insights about her. So what she brings into behavioral mastering and leadership edge, brand view, and project precision. And so proven impact means Amita, she was from Wipro to till Win brand she is working, and she also freelancer trainer, faculty with us. And she is from the level 1 to till the CEO level. She handled all the roles in, and she justify herself in all the roles, I can say. And this is all about Amita. So once again, thank you, Amita, for taking this opportunity. And uh, thank you, welcome you. And this is all about today webinar. So agenda, and so This is all about Amita, so I'll end here. So Amita will take it ahead from here. Thank you once again for attending the webinar. It was wonderful. Over to you, Amita. Thank you.
Thank you, Sugandhi, for saying all those good words for me. Means a lot. Truly, truly, truly appreciate. Thank you so much. So good
Pleasure.
afternoon, everybody. I think you all can stop sharing so that I can start sharing my slides. Okay, I can see people are still joining, which is good, and we have a good number here. So very happy to be here, and we will have some um, quick, interesting discussion around leadership, some thought-provoking, simple ideas. Ideas are simple, but the approach I will have, I would like to keep it at a thought-provoking level. And as we all understand that leadership, it's really a vast area. I mean, several days, if we deliver training, then also it's not enough. So just quick points, very key points, which are very relevant in today's time, keeping the time what we have in our hand. Just keeping that in mind, I have captured a few key points and then we'll discuss around that. I will be happy to take your questions, though we have kept separately half an hour towards the end. But I don't mind if you ask any question in between. I'm always very happy and feel good when questions are asked, right? So please feel free to ask, and I will be asking a few questions. So I would definitely expect and encourage and request all of you to respond so that this session is engaging and interesting. Otherwise, trust me, it's going to be very boring. Though it's a webinar, but still let's keep it interactive. So whoever wants to speak, whoever feels comfortable to speak, please go ahead and speak. And whoever wants to chat, put responses in the chat window, please go ahead and do that. Whichever way you want to participate, please participate because participation is the key, right? So first step is to attend, to show up, and the second step is to participate. Then only it actually becomes very, very effective. So since you people have decided to give us 1.5 hours, let's make it more effective. Let's make it as productive as possible. And some even simple key takeaways that will be very, very helpful. And I think the purpose of this webinar will be served. Okay, I hope with this we can start. So let me quickly share my screen. Just give me a second. So here we go. I hope my screen is visible. Is it visible? Presentation mode is visible. Can anybody confirm, please? Sugandhi, I'm not able to see the chat window. Can anybody speak and say it is visible?
Yes, it's visible.
The presentation mode, right? Not just the normal mode. Okay. Okay, fine. So let's go ahead. If you see the tagline which I have given, shifting from managing tasks to leading impact. In today's time, the way leaders are seen, the way the role has changed, it is not the same as it used to be some time back, a few years back. A lot of things have changed, and that is what we're going to talk about. My introduction is already given, so I don't think I have to stick to it. But I just quickly wanted to share that I have 15,000 plus training hours experience, and Sugandhi, it is not 22. I think somewhere, I think some confusion happened. It's going to be 25 now. So 24 plus years of experience. Anyway, so let's quickly have some fun. Okay, I have captured this very interesting question. Let me see what responses come up. I want you people to relax. And when we relax, then only learning happens. So the statement, what you see here, or we can call it as a question also, if you could swap leadership roles with any famous person, past or present, for one day, who would it be and what would you do differently? I repeat, if you could swap leadership roles with any famous person, past or present, for one day, who would it be and what would you do differently? I would love to hear some of you. It's a fun question. We can have fun. You can, whatever comes to your mind about it. or if anybody wants to share in the chat window, please do share. I will stop sharing so that I can see chat. I am not able to see right now. I hope my question is visible. Let me see if any responses are there in the chat window. Okay, I hope the question is clear. Can I see some responses in the chat window? As I said, the question is, or the purpose is only uh, to have fun a little bit and be a little creative, think out of the box and come up with something interesting. Anybody would like to share? So many people are here. If you don't want to speak, please respond in the chat window. I will truly appreciate that. Okay, I'll wait for another 10-15 seconds. Was it a difficult question? That's why no response. Is that so? Oh, great. One response came. Okay.
I gave
So,
elephant.
okay, great. More responses are coming now. Interesting. Very happy to see your responses and thank you so much. So Modi is the first response, Karunakar. And Saurav is giving for CSK. Okay. Okay. Don't need to retire. Demonetization is unavoidable. Okay, fine. Great, great. Any more responses? I know I can understand now if you have to type so much, you need some time. So let's wait for another 30 seconds and then we'll proceed. And I can see people are still joining. So people who are joining, we are doing a very simple, interesting, fun activity. I showed a question and people are responding. So thank you so much. Two responses we got. Is there any more response? Looks like yes. Wow, Deepika is talking about Tenali Rama. Very interesting. Kindly repeat the question. Okay, fine. I will repeat. I will put it here in the chat window itself so that people who join late, they can see this. I'm sorry, I copied on my PPT, so font is really huge. Please ignore. Oh, Vijay Malia is also there. Very interesting. Okay, interesting. Tenali Rama history was clever and was always with team to complete his task. You would have not wanted to change anything with Tenali Rama? Okay, Dhoni, apart from being more fixed, maybe should be able to experiment being a new talent. Okay, great, lovely, beautiful responses. Thank you so much. You should just see your responses. Okay, fine. Deepika, appreciate that. See, with this, all these responses, the energy in the virtual room has shifted, right? So it's all about energy. So now I can sense that there is a good energy. Others, if you are not typing, if you're not participating, if you're not responding, at least think in your head. It is an interesting question to think. It might give you some interesting way uh, to look at. Okay, some insight, some idea you will get about yourself. These questions become very, very interesting. Okay, fine. So once again, thank you all of you who have responded. And now let's proceed with our session and let's get into something serious now. So program objective is already shared. So let's directly dive into the topic. So now I have, as I already said, that I will be asking a few questions, but then now the challenge is you people have chosen to respond in the chat window. But when I'm presenting, I'm in the presentation mode. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see the chat. I can only see my presentation. So I won't be able to see, but I would love to get your responses. Why do you think leadership is evolving? What's your response? I would really request all of you to speak. Then energy will be much better. Can somebody please speak? Why leadership is evolving and what do I mean by leadership is evolving? Any thoughts here? Okay. So there could be many, many, many reasons. But if we have to sum it up, then we can see these are some of the reasons. The change, what are the drivers? Complexity is increasing day by day, or we can say it's changing day by day. Agility is increasing or changing day by day. Now, hybrid teams, we have to work with hybrid teams. It's not just same, right? So that is also changing. And then if we see another major reason why leadership is evolving, that at some point of time, leader's role or manager's role was mainly limited to operational control. Right? They were mainly involved till this level. But now they have moved, that role or the job has moved from that only operational control to it has gone to strategic influence. And this is also changing. The strategic influence is also changing. So these are some of the top key reasons why leadership is evolving. Right? So if leadership is evolving, so can we have the same leadership style what we practiced or exercised 20 years back, 30 years back, or 40 years back, or even 10 years back? Of course, answer is no. We cannot. We cannot have the same way of dealing. I don't know how many of you are parents here. So if I ask a simple question that whoever is a parent here or otherwise also, if you are not a parent, you're going to be a parent in future. I'm sure this is a very commonsensical thing that parenting rules have changed, right? We cannot have the same parenting rules the way it was 20 years back, 30 years back, or 40 years back, or even 10 years back, right? A lot of changes are happening there. Similarly, if you're talking about leadership, a lot of things are changing. So we cannot have the same old way of leading people, right? This is I think we all understand this. I'm not saying that we don't understand. I'm sure all of you also understand, and I'm not sharing anything which you don't understand. But where is the challenge? The challenge is we understand, but are we doing anything about it? Are we really taking actions a little differently? Are we behaving the same way as we were behaving some time back or some years, a few years back? So that is a very important question we need to ask. So this is a very interesting quote which I really like, and that's why I have kept it here. Today's leaders must be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So the idea is to start becoming comfortable with discomforts. That is how it should be. And this is not only, in fact, this is not only applicable to leaders, this is applicable to any professional. Anybody who is working, it is applicable for those people and people who actually become comfortable or they train themselves to become comfortable with discomforts. These are the people, nobody can stop them. They have long way to go. These are the people, they are real achievers, high performers. And I also like the second part of it, which says because certainty is no longer a luxury, right? There was a time certainty used to be luxury, but unfortunately, it is no longer a luxury. So we are living in this time, so accordingly, things should change. Now, this insightful data points, some key data points are captured. I'm not going to read it. Karuna Karan, you have a question? You're raising your hand? Thankfully, I could see. Okay, they need to be, okay, I'm muted. Okay, fine. Okay, Karuna Karan,
Yeah.
Yeah,
somebody
I
Yes,
please.
have.
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
it is not only uncertainty, it is about
yeah.
the emotional dynamics and how generations were brought up, right? Meaning, how we were
Absolutely
brought
right.
up versus
Yeah,
today's generation versus the tomorrow's, meaning the younger kids are
yeah,
different people, and to lead them from the generation what we were are different, right?
yeah.
So that shift also is very important for us to kind of keep into mind to while evolving to a better leader, right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you for adding that point. Very important. And yes, emotional aspect I'm going to talk about. That is one of the core skills we are going to talk about. But very rightly said, and I'm sure uh, people who are dealing with very, very young people, right? Freshers, college pass outs, they are having a tough time. I know I have delivered sessions especially for this need that how to handle this young generation, how to work with Gen Z, and how to actually influence them and things like that. So now sessions are happening especially for this kind of requirement. There are leaders who are finding it quite challenging. Just like we parents, like I'm a parent, I have two daughters. I'm sure many of us can relate that we are challenged every now and then, right? So things are changing. That's the reason why we have to know how to handle these things a little better. And these are the moments where we can actually come together and then think about new ways of doing things, better ways of doing things, brainstorm, understand what's happening in the world. So here I've captured this slide. I'm not going to read it, only some key points I've tried capturing. There could be many more data points. And just the idea is that these data points can be little alarming. Okay, so just look at these. I request you people to go through these data points, what I've captured. And if you see, emotional intelligence is also captured here. Right? These are all somewhere or the other research, and that's also captured here from where these are taken, these data points. So as I said, these are definitely quite alarming, right? And that's why regular trainings required where we sit together, brainstorm, understand where we are going right, where we are going wrong. Otherwise, day-to-day life, everybody's plate is so full, we never get time to reflect and see, okay, am I going right? Am I doing things in the right manner? Is there any better way to do something, right? We don't get that time. So trainings become the opportunity where we can brainstorm, we can understand, we can we can discuss with each other, and we also learn from each other, right? So let's understand that what is the shift. I'm sure all of us here, that's my assumption, I might be wrong, but because this is a very common topic, and if you would have attended any leadership program, you would have probably seen this, right? So this is just as a reminder, with that understanding that everybody already knows this, that the shift from managing to leading, the typical difference between a manager and a leader, right? So there could be n number of reasons, but I've captured top three or maybe real important ones. So managing is always task focused, leading is always vision focused, right? So leaders have some kind of vision and they work towards that. Whereas managers' job is to just somehow uh, focus on that things or tasks should be executed. So execution, whatever responsibilities are there given, things should happen the way it is expected. So only focus is limited to that. Managers or managing, if you see, the approach is always directing. They always into directional mode. They give directions that go ahead and do this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. Whereas leading, when we talk about, it is about enabling, right? It is about coaching. So coaching word will come. I'm sure all of you would be knowing this. Again, that's an assumption because that's also very popular topic, and everywhere every organization is talking about managers should become, the role of a manager has become a role of a coach now. Manager should typically behave like a coach, and obviously sometimes mentors and other role also there, but then more or less it has to be a coach's role. So that's about enabling, and managing is about controlling, whereas leading is about empowerment, and that is a typical leader's job, that leaders actually empower their team members. They don't only just manage. So anybody has any question or anybody has anything to add? Because I can understand that some of you are quite senior here. Again, that's my assumption. And with your experience, if you want to add something, please raise your hand and share whatever. As I said, these are the opportunities where we actually share and learn from each other. So I'll be happy to have some inputs from your side. Please feel free to do that. Okay, so very simple kind of question, I can say, reflective question, that where do I spend most of my time? So whoever is here, just quickly, if you can think and see out of these three what you're seeing, I'm sure this has something to say. Okay. Yeah, please go ahead. Share your inputs. Karunakaran, please.
Yeah,
Lingaraj, keep
in
him
today's
unmuted, no, all the time. Yeah,
yes, ma'am. Madam,
yeah,
predominantly emotional intelligence is one very important factor in today's
yeah,
leadership. And
yeah.
my question to you is why was that not added as a part of manager versus uh, a leader, or maybe the task versus vision driven is included into that, madam?
Yeah. So when I say empowerment on enabling, that actually covers emotional intelligence. Going forward, there is a slide. I mean, there is a topic itself on emotional intelligence. So when I say empowerment, when I say enabling, how a leader would do that. So for that, the skill which is required is one of the skills is definitely emotional intelligence, and that is what I'm going to talk about. It will come. Yeah. Yeah, Sharad, please unmute Sharad also, please. Lingraj.
Yeah,
Lingraj, you
hi,
there?
Sharath here.
Yeah,
Hope
Sharad, please.
I'm audible. Yeah, I
Sharad.
just wanted
Mm,
to add that
mm.
being a leader is
Yeah,
about being a role model. You have to be a role
yeah,
model for others.
mm,
Like, there are
yeah,
leaders who say, hey, we expect you to come early to the office, and they themselves come
mm.
late. That's not going to work. So you come
Yeah,
before them and show through your actions that, be a
yeah,
role model to others, I think is very important.
yes,
Just a basic example, but generally in everything,
yeah,
being a role model
yeah,
and
absolutely.
influence, be
Yeah,
influential person matters.
yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So as I said, there are many more points what we can talk about, but we have limited time. So that's why I just summed it up in three keywords. But absolutely right. Leaders have to be role models. Absolutely, because others are going to follow them, right? And if others are going to follow me, and if my own practices are not correct, then it doesn't make sense. So thank you. Thank you for adding value to this session. Thank you. Truly appreciate that. Yeah. So as I said, I'm going to talk about three core skills. So first skill is strategic thinking. Right? Emotional intelligence will come. That is also one of the skills, one of the core skills. And again, there could be many more core skills, right? But then, as I said, I have picked up three because the time what we have to somewhere limit our topics. So the very first point is strategic thinking. And I'm sure everybody understand it's again a very, very commonsensical point. A leader has to be a strategic thinker. Conceptually, everybody understands, but practically, how many of us really are into it? How many of us have trained ourselves to be good at it? That's a question we need to ask. I personally worked with many organizations in different capacities for several years, interacted with many, many leaders. And now, as a trainer, as a freelance trainer, I mean, I have myself worked as a leader for several years. And now, when I deliver trainings, I interact with many leaders. I also do one to one coaching and all. And I personally see that not every leader understands the importance of this strategic thinking. Again, one of the simple reasons could be that because so much, I mean, everybody's plate is full and then occupied with so many things, and things are sometimes chaotic, too many things to handle, too many people to manage, too many, I mean, workload is very heavy, right? And stress is there, and tension is there, pressure is there. So, because of all that, we are just like somehow finishing what we are doing. We are not able to go to the next level and actually think, have that big picture orientation, right? So even simple thing. So this is a very simple. As I said, my agenda is to just either remind you or give you those thought-provoking ideas and some kind of recap of whatever we are supposed to do. So that is how the objective, that is how the agenda I've kept in my mind, right? So let's start questioning ourselves that how good I am when I'm talking about big picture orientation. Am I somebody who's able to connect the dots? Am I somebody who's able to see big picture? Am I somebody who's understanding unsaid things? Right? Am I somebody who's able to see that if this is happening, that okay, long term, this could happen? A lot of things, a lot of ways are there where we can actually reflect and see whether I am really good at strategic thinking. If I am not, then probably it's high time we should start doing something about it. Right? So connecting daily work to long-term goals, it's very, very critical. And strategic thinkers, when I'm talking about as a leader, I should also be doing this or training or empowering my team members to be good at it, right? So that is why it is said that a good leader is not who's just giving the good answer. The sign of a good leader is that the quality of questions they can ask, right? And when we are asking good questions, if team member is coming with a problem, and rather than giving a solution, if I'm asking a good question at that moment, that is a sign that I'm actually training my team member and I'm empowering my team member to start thinking on their own, right? So that is how the empowerment happens. That is how enabling happens. And they start becoming good at this also. So strategic alignment and decision making. This is a very simple example, but then any decision making, I mean, big decisions, definitely strategic alignment would be there because that will be the ask. But for some simple decision, day-to-day activities, what I'm doing, am I able to see that strategic alignment is happening or not? So this is a thought which is very, very important for us to really focus on. So prioritize by impact, not urgency. This is a tip. This is a statement I want everybody to remember, that prioritize by impact, because we know that many a times we end up prioritizing things as per the urgency, but we don't really see that, okay, impact is something that should be, as a leader, that should be my prioritizing criteria, number one criteria. So very simple example here. Suppose you are not suppose you are a senior leader overseeing multiple functions and you receive two requests. One is urgent. A team member needs your approval for a minor operational expense so they can place an order by EOD. Second one is high impact. Your calendar has a strategy review meeting with cross-functional heads to align on next quarter's priorities. It's not urgent, but skipping it could derail alignment and delay key initiatives, right? So what many leaders would do? Okay, you all tell me. Here is the challenge again. Somebody has to speak then. Okay, let me share this and then we will ask if somebody has to speak. So what many leaders do, because they are not thinking and then because something urgent has come up, so they respond to the urgent task first because it is quick and loud. It is like, oh my God, this is important and I need to do this. So either postpone if it is possible or start multitasking during that strategic meeting, right? So many leaders would do that. I'm not saying all, but many leaders. And this is probably an area we are not thinking that, okay, where, what should be done. But what great leaders do, see, one of the areas, I mean, now this is a separate topic which is coming up from here, delegation. So delegation is also an art. So we deliver a training topic which is called as art of delegation. So how to delegate, when to delegate, whom to delegate, that's also very, very important. So if something which is very urgent and that's also unavoidable, so how good I am in delegating, how I have trained my team members where if I delegate the correct way, then that will also be taken care and I can focus as a leader, I can focus on only this high impact thing, which is the meeting, right? I'm sure many of you, some of you are already doing this, but then again, as I said, it could be a reminder. Okay. Please,
Madam,
Linda,
is it
yeah,
yes, ma'am. Is it also
yeah,
tied to decision making, meaning self-driven teams where
yeah,
few decisions, which can be taken by them, meaning grooming them as the next level
yeah,
leaders, would
yeah,
actually avoid the congestion of approval, meaning rather than being
yeah,
more leader kinds than
yeah,
a leader who maybe the person who wants to actually get approval can maybe take a call and then circle back saying that yes, this is a minor, and communicate. So self enablement also would definitely bring up
Help you.
next level,
Yeah.
yes, team
Yeah,
as well,
absolutely.
and
Yeah, yeah. Very correct. Very correct. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your inputs. Truly appreciate that. Yeah, Sharad, you also have a point. Lingraj, Sharad
Yeah.
also unmute.
Yes, what I wanted to
Yeah,
add
please.
here is when you
Yeah,
spoke
please.
about urgency and importance. So there's something called as
Mm,
Eisenhower matrix, which
mm.
talks about
Urgent,
high
important metrics.
urgent importance metrics exactly.
Yeah,
So there
yeah.
it says
Q1,
that if
Q2,
there is
Q3,
something
Q4.
urgent but something importance, if time is there, it's okay. Urgent thing you can
Uh,
just get it done, and
yeah,
something like that can be planned. Something which is not urgent and
absolutely.
not important, you can just forget about it. So something like an Eisenhower
Absolutely.
matrix helps. But
Yeah,
yes, I think
yeah,
if it overlaps between something highly important and something urgent, which is not important,
yeah.
then yeah, of course, then what you said matters.
Then
That
we can go directly to the impact. Then we'll see
impact.
impact can
Yeah,
become, yeah, that one of the criteria to actually prioritize. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So what you're talking about, that is called prioritization tool. And that is a tool which is very, very helpful to understand and be more disciplined or be more effective and efficient and understand how to start prioritizing our work. Thank you. Truly appreciate your inputs. So urgency gets your attention, but impact deserves your attention, right? So as a leader, we need to be very, very mindful whether my focus is on impact all the time, right? This is a kind of training we have to give so that we can always look at the impact aspect. Okay, I'm not saying urgency needs to be avoided, but as Sharad already mentioned, that we need to understand that matrix Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. If something urgent and equally important, then obviously that calls for our attention. But if it is urgent and something which can be delegated, somebody else can take care of that, then definitely we need to do that. So now let's talk about the core skill number two, which is influence without authority. Now, the confusion could be that we are talking about leadership and everybody is here leader, right? So, and leaders do have authority. Then why I picked up influence without authority as core skill number two? Just think about it. So, as a leader, with the authority which is already given to me, do I have to still influence people without any authority? Are we in that situation? Does it happen? And if that happens, then what do I do? Right? So this is what I wanted to just focus on. Influence without authority. So as I already mentioned, the confusion could be that yes, as a leader, I have authority, but authority is limited. Authority is only where my team members are there, but may I have to work with different people, right? There are many other people. So as a leader, not necessarily I am good at influencing people, right? I am able to influence my team members because they are reporting to me. So obviously they are bound to listen to me. But what about others? There are many other stakeholders I'm working with. Am I able to influence them also? Because there could be many, many situations where I'm supposed to influence others. And ideally, as a leader, as we already, this point came up in the beginning, that as a leader, I should be a role model. And when somebody becomes a role model, and the influence word itself, if you see, we get influenced by somebody when somebody looks like a role model, or when I start looking up to somebody that I really like certain quality in somebody, the way that person is communicating, the way that person is conducting, the way the person's certain values are there, or the way that person uh, uh, does anything, right? The performance. There could be many other factors. Because of that, I am already influenced by somebody. So ideally, a leader should be like that, where influencing should happen. I mean, influencing should happen very naturally, right? So what can I do in order to be good at it? So this is one area. Obviously, we won't be able to cover everything. Just as I said, I'm just provoking certain thoughts. So let's start thinking about it that am I somebody who's good at influencing if I don't have authority? Right? So when we are talking about influencing without authority, some certain key levers, there could be many more. So trust plays very important role, credibility plays very important role, and then alignment plays very important role. Right? So if I want to influence somebody and these things are not in place, then it won't be possible to influence. I have captured one example. With that example, I'm sure this will be much more clear. I mean, there's nothing which is not clear here, but in case we want to see more example, I'm sure some of you would know what is the stakeholder mapping matrix. There are, for every concept, there will be some tool or some technique. So here, the matrix, the tool which is very helpful, and that's called stakeholder mapping matrix. I'm a project manager also, certified project manager. So in my project management world, whenever I do that training or consulting, when I worked as a project manager, this is one a tool which helped us like anything, right? So otherwise also beyond project management, concepts. Otherwise, also, this is very helpful tool. And I have not picked up the standard typical project management stakeholder mapping matrix. I have picked up the one which is applicable in any given scenario. So that is what I'm going to show. But why it matters, if any confusion is there, I've tried capturing a few points. So leaders often work across teams. They don't directly manage. That is what I already talked about. Positional authority doesn't guarantee. I mean, with our team members also, sometimes we might be in that situation that it's difficult to influence people and people are not listening to us. So as I already said, that alignment is very important. Just commanding might not be enough. And remote and hybrid work limits also limits traditional power structure. That's also there. That's another challenge we have. And influence builds trust, and trust drives sustainable results. So when we are focusing on influence, obviously we'll start thinking about trust, how to build trust. So I picked up this particular matrix, which is very helpful. And if you see here on the left side, on the one axis, it is level of influence, and the bottom, if you see, a level of interest. So it is also called influence versus interest matrix, right? So on the top side, the blue color, high influence, low interest, and the red one is high influence, high interest. They are these blue ones are called latent, high influence but low interest, and these are called promoter. Red ones, influence is also high, interest is also high. Yellow one, which is low influence but high interest, they are called defenders. And the purple one, which is low influence and low interest, they are called apathetics. So these are four different boxes. And what we need to do, we need to actually start putting them into these boxes. Now tell me how this is helpful. Anybody would like to quickly speak on this? How this will be helpful? This will be helpful to have different strategies for the four different boxes, right? What could be
Absolutely.
strategies? Yeah,
Absolutely, ma'am. Meaning, it's like you cannot have one strategy for every uh, person, right?
stakeholder.
We might
Yeah,
need to put them into different buckets and come out with
yeah,
a tactical plan or a operational plan, because what needs to be drawn out while executing, it'll be
yeah,
easier to kind of give the task. It could be task, it could be mentoring them, it could be working with them to build that
yeah,
moving, for example, moving the low to a red one, meaning people
yeah.
with purple to promoters. We could
Yellow one.
kind of
Absolutely.
move it up and down. So these four definitely would be helpful for us to strategically, with less chaotically, take it, madam, influence.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Absolutely right. This is how it should be. We should have different strategies for them. These blue ones could be, we need to take care of them extra because their interest is low, but influence is high. So we need to be extra mindful, extra careful about these people. We need to see that, okay, how we can keep them uh, satisfied so that because their influence is high, so it could be problematic, right? These are the people who are kind of our ambassadors, right? The red ones. We can take their help, we can take their support if we are demoralized or something, so they will be with us. These people can be demoralized themselves because their interest is high, but then influence is low. So they need to be pampered a little bit, they need to be taken care a little bit, they need to be shown some kind of importance and things like that. And this quadrant, they can be managed. And as already we heard, that the whole goal should be moving this quadrant to this side, this quadrant to this side. So blue should go to red and purple should go to yellow. If we can achieve that, nothing like it. Okay, so this is how we can actually map our stakeholders and create different strategies to handle them. And there are much more to talk: stakeholder management, stakeholder engagement. These are all one full day topics. We do several activities, several things when we are talking about these topics, right? I'm just touching like key points, some uh, very important points. Now let's talk about core skill number three, which is emotional intelligence. Nowadays, this emotional intelligence has become one of the hot training topics, not just now. Last few years, I've been seeing many organizations are planning and conducting this topic because a lot of things are going out of way. People are not able to handle themselves, manage themselves. Others are not able to handle, manage. Whole lot of chaos is happening. The pressure, the stress, the conflicts, differences, whole lot of things are happening, and because of that, I think this topic has become very popular topic, because people need to be good at this particular intelligence what we talk about. So what exactly is this? Let's understand. And but I love this quote also. So you cannot lead others until first you lead yourself. So when you're talking about emotional intelligence, it is about that I should also know how to lead myself, right? I should have some my self management and my self control. All those things are need to be good, right? So what exactly is emotional intelligence? Let's see that. So emotional intelligence, it is also the parameter to gauge this is called as EQ, which is emotional quotient. Helps leaders manage their own emotions and also understand others. So how I put it, this is how I prefer defining emotional intelligence. So it is about being intelligent about emotions. Becoming intelligent about emotions is actually emotional intelligence. So what do I mean by this, becoming intelligent about emotions? Becoming intelligent about emotions means that I know myself, I know why I do certain things. I know what all my motivations are. I know when I am demotivated. I know when I lose my control. When I know, when I feel I can do it, I can give my more than 100%. All emotional related whole lot of things. I'm like aware about myself, and not only aware, I'm also able to manage my own emotion, right? So that is about being intelligent about my own emotion. Not only that, I need to also be intelligent about others' emotion. If I'm talking as a leader, if I want to, if I have scheduled a meeting with my one of my team members, and when I start talking with that team member looks very frustrated. And as a leader, if I'm not able to see that my team member looks very frustrated, then that's not being emotionally intelligent person. As a leader, first I need to identify that, oh, my team member looks frustrated. Let's first address that, right? Or that person looks very upset, or that person looks very sad, that person is uh, any emotion, it could be any emotion. So understanding others emotions and accordingly working towards that, accordingly taking right decision and doing a lot of things. Again, emotional intelligence is a huge topic, again one full day topic, one half day topic, a lot to discuss, a lot to I mean, go deeper into this topic, and a lot of activities and things like that. But just for the time what we have, I've captured a few key points. So core EQ components for leadership, if we talk about, so self-awareness. Self-awareness should be very high. As I already said, my emotional patterns, my emotional triggers. So when I'm aware of it, then I can do something about it. So first step is awareness. When we go to a doctor, doctor should identify, doctor should be able to diagnose that what is the problem. So unless a doctor is able to diagnose, he cannot treat me. right? Same way, unless I know what is my emotional pattern or trigger, I cannot do anything about it. So first step is awareness, understanding how your mindset and moods impact each other, right? If I am in certain mindset, does it impact my mood? If it impacts, then what do I do, right? Because most of the times we act because of the emotion or the way we act, not we act, the way we act. It is because of it is nothing but the emotional response. And we don't realize that because we are all actually emotional beings, right? We humans are uh, emotional beings, and our responses are definitely because of that emotional thing which is happening within my system. And usually what happens at workplace, we think that we are not paying attention to that, or we don't want to pay attention to that, or we should not pay attention to that. It is absolutely not correct. In fact, uh, Daniel Goleman, who's the pioneer in this emotional intelligence, what he says as per him, that 80% emotional intelligence is responsible in anybody's success. I mean, overall success, right? And 20% is that IQ, which is responsible. So IQ is only the normal IQ, what we know that intelligence, that is only 20% responsible in order to be successful, but emotional intelligence plays 80% role, right? So that is how critical it is. So self-awareness, when we are talking about, so being honest about our own strengths and blind spots, again, all related to emotions. Then comes second part, empathy, right? So I'm aware, and then I'm also aware about others. As I said, if my team member is sitting frustrated, and if I see that, and if I'm able to empathize with that person, that if I feel frustrated, and then if I'm sitting with somebody in a meeting, then what would I expect? If I think like that, then I become empathy. That is empathy, right? Putting ourselves in other shoes is called empathy. So accurately reading others' emotions and needs, very, very important, very, very crucial and critical for leaders, right? Listening beyond words. So reading between the lines, understanding unsaid things. These are all very, very important things. Noticing the tone, hesitation, their energy, all of these things. Yes, Karuna Karanji, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. This empathy is very, very important as a leader. Uh,
Yeah,
the reason behind all of us are, as you rightly said, ma'am, all of us are emotional driven being, and
yeah,
if we don't have the empathy, those could actually trigger lot of emotions among the team and move them towards different buckets in the quadrant that we were looking at. So
yeah, absolutely.
this
Yeah,
empathy is very, very important to ensure that uh, people always look up to the leader, meaning look up to our strategic goal, and then they, focus on the actual mission that we together are working towards. And predominantly also, man,
absolutely.
since all of us are
Uh,
emotional, we forget the good
uh,
things that and the happy moments we have, and we only
yeah,
remember those pressure triggers. So
negative things.
emotional
Yeah,
intelligence is very, very important to be a leader,
yeah.
because this one factor, this is our DNA predominantly, madam.
Absolutely right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for adding value to my session and bringing these valuable points. Truly appreciate. Yeah, absolutely right. Correctly said that a leader cannot be really a leader without empathy. It is that important. And for me, the way I see, empathy is the most important tool. I repeat, empathy is the most important tool for interpersonal skills, not only as a leader, other roles also, what we are playing in our lives. Everywhere, in every role, empathy plays very important role. Right now, I can empathize with you people, and you people can empathize with me. Right. So, likewise, empathy can be exercised in any given scenario. Some of us are naturally good at empathy. Some of us need to practice a little bit and be good at it. Right. So we need to understand, reflect, and see that whether I'm really good at it or not. Does it come very naturally to us, to me, or if it is not coming, then we need to start working towards it. Right. So after empathy, self-regulation. As I said, that self-awareness is very important. But then, what will I do if I am just aware? After that, I also need to know that how do I manage myself, right? So my emotional reactions, it is like correct reaction, or if I go, if I burst out, or if I go out of control, and if I do certain things, then obviously that's not correct. Or if I'm suppressing a lot, that's also not correct. That I'm suppressing everything and I'm just not releasing. It's like I'm becoming like a live pressure cooker, or like bottling up is happening, bottling up, bottling up, bottling up, and one day blast will happen. That's also incorrect. So both are incorrect if it is more than what it is required, or if it is less than what is required. So the right way of doing it, that requires a lot of training, a lot of awareness, a lot of practice. Um, Not so easy. But if we start, we can definitely achieve, right? Responding rather than reacting under pressure. I'm sure everybody knows that and everybody talks about it. But then how many people are actually able to do that? Practically, how many of us are able to do that? If I am somebody, I'm practically, if I can do an honest confession, there was a time I had major anger problem and I used to only react, right? Several years back. But then thankfully I realized that was such a big problem I am into, and then I need to do something about it. And then I did something, and then I came out of that. And when I look back, it's just like I feel so grateful and thankful that I found that out. I had that awareness and I was ready to work on it. And today I don't have that problem. I mean, once in a while we all react, but it's not about like every single time. So that also needs to be understood. And as a leader, calm and balanced, especially in uncertainty, if I'm not able to exercise that, if I'm not able to come across like that, then obviously uh, people will question me. My leadership skill will be questioned. As a leader, I will be questioned. So difficult. Leadership position is not so easy. It's a difficult position to be in. A lot of expectations are there. Difficult, challenging expectations are there. But once we have taken up that role, we need to keep working towards all this, what we are talking about, and many more other things. Okay. What are some of the common EQ gaps in senior leaders? It is all related to what we have already spoken, nothing new. Lack of self awareness, as I already talked about. I don't realize how I come across, right? It could be one of the thoughts. Blind spots in tone, non-verbal cues, or emotional impact. Many a times, non-verbal cues, people are not aware that what they are, how they are communicating. Non-verbal cues are stronger than verbal cues, right? Words play very limited role. Non-verbal communication is much more stronger and powerful. So we need to be aware of it. Tone. What is my tone? That's also very important. Lack of empathy, especially under pressure. It's again very, very common problem. I'm sure many of you will be able to relate. Even if you are empathetic, there is a possibility under pressure, under stress. My empathy. I just forget about him, right? So focus on results at the cost of relationships, right? That could be one of the possibilities. Poor listening or making assumptions. We make a lot of assumptions. Every now and then we make a lot of assumption. If you check right now also, probably you are making some assumption, because this is how we are designed. We are designed to make a lot of assumptions, and we need to question that. We need to train ourselves to not take at least some decisions based on those assumptions. Assumptions will happen. That's very natural. But I should not take actions or make decisions based on those assumptions. That is how the training and the extra awareness will help us. And the inconsistent emotional regulation. So not necessarily everybody will actually show up. As I said, some of us can suppress it. So mood swings will be there. Passive aggression will be there. So they are very aggressive inside, but they, on the face, they are very passive. So as I said, they are bottling it up. They are controlling it. And then controlling is not good. We should learn how to manage, not control. Right? So we'll become that pressure cooker which is ready to blast any moment. Defensive methods unnecessarily defend, even if like it's not required, they will defend. So people who unnecessarily defend, that could also be one of the signs that EQ is low. Unintended fear or friction in teams, that could be one of the possibilities. Over reliance on authority, this is also one of the poor EQ, uh, the result of poor EQ, I would say. Not noticing the emotional climate or resistance, they are not able to see that what's happening, right, overall, or if any resistance is there. Leading with control instead of connections. I think we have spoken 2, 3 times so far. So these were some of the EQ gaps. As I said, these are like some top key points But then I'm sure it would have given you some insight or some kind of refresher or kind of reminder that yes, I need to be good at it. I need to keep working on it. If I'm good at it, from good to great level, I have to go. But if I'm not so good at it, then I need to start working on it. Right? So quick EQ self-check for leaders. Very quick one. I'm just quickly sharing. Yes, Karuna Karanji, please go ahead.
Yes, madam. There is a very famous saying, it is easy to break than make, right? So, this emotional intelligence is very important because it takes years, sometimes longer to build the relationship, but it just takes a
Absolutely.
fraction of second to break. So, if this emotional intelligence with the self awareness and the practice as a leader, meaning I think all of us, as we grow, we become
Yeah.
leaders, right? So rather than
Yeah.
we transforming ourselves to a leader, would this
Oh,
important aspect is very important because it's all about people and how we are able to drive our mission forward together as a team and have a win-win situation, man.
yes, absolutely right. Absolutely. So this is a quick self-check. Quickly just go through that and rating I've already given 1 or 5. If it is rarely, then 1. If it is consistently, then 5. And these statements are, it's going to give you an idea that how good you are, or if not good, then what could be an area of improvement. As a leader, quick EQ self-check. As a leader, it's very important. Second point, very important to be a good listener. Usually, not usually, usually is not the right word. Sometimes, as a leader, because too many things are there, too many things to handle. Many a times I've seen that um, leaders say that I don't have time, or even if they call for a meeting, then they are distracted. They are doing something is going on parallelly, and team member feels that, oh, I'm not heard enough. So these are small little areas of improvement. Okay, so I hope you all have gone through all these 7 statements. So, which of these do you do really well? Which one might be a leadership spot worth developing? That's a reflective question you need to ask. If you went through this and you gave score to yourself. Okay, a quick case scenario before we wind up. So, whatever we have discussed, a very quick scenario I have captured. You are a senior manager leading a strategic product development initiative that requires close collaboration between R&D, marketing, and manufacturing. Midway through the project, delays start cropping up. R&D blames manufacturing for being rigid with specs. Manufacturing feels R&D keeps changing requirements. Marketing is pushing for an early launch, citing competitive pressure. Tensions are high and no one seems willing to compromise. The project is at risk and your team is looking to you for direction. Which leadership skill is most critical here? Strategic thinking, influence with authority, or emotional intelligence? And why? Second question, how would you reframe this situation to create alignment? And the last one, what leadership behavior would you apply first? Who would like to answer? I hope the scenario was clear. Shall I keep the slide here for you people to refer again? Okay, let me read it one more time. You are a senior manager leading a strategic product development initiative that requires close collaboration between R&D, marketing, and manufacturing. Midway through the project, delays start cropping up. R&D blames manufacturing for being rigid with specs. Manufacturing feels R&D keeps changing requirements. Marketing is pushing for an early launch, citing competitive pressure. Tensions are high and no one seems willing to compromise. The project is at risk and your is looking to you for direction. So, out of those 3 core skills, what we talked about, strategic thinking, influencing without authority, and emotional intelligence. Which skill is very important here, which will actually help you to solve the problem? or all three skills are equally important, or any two skills are very important? Any thoughts, anybody?
Strategic thinking and influential is are the two things, madam. Definitely, emotional intelligence has to be there on how we convey. But
Yeah,
for us to do
yeah,
a successful launch, which the marketing wants, a
yeah,
strategy has to be in place so that the R&D teams come up with a MVP, and the manufacturer at least builds a first prototype or a sellable in the market, and then
yeah,
it can be launched, wherein the vision of R&D, because they want to future proof, can be kind of taken care, is the point of view which I would like to bring in, man.
yes, absolutely right. Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to add? Anybody is writing anything in the chat?
Yeah, I
Okay,
could
Sharad, please
add
go
my
ahead.
2 cents. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
What I
Yeah,
feel in this scenario is, see, strategy is something which we need time, right? We have to plan way in
yeah,
advance. We need a lot of time. That's when strategy works.
um,
When
yeah,
it is at a situation like this where we don't have time, we have to quickly come to a decision and things like that. I
um,
think more important are the skills on influence without authority and emotional intelligence, if you ask me, in this scenario, because you
okay.
have to somehow influence them as a leader by
um,
not,
um,
they should not feel that you are biased towards a particular
Yeah,
department, but still you have to
yeah,
influence them to understand what the issue is. Emotional
yeah,
intelligence definitely is very important, because definitely there'll be anger and flarings among the departments.
yeah,
It's not going to be a smooth one for sure. So where how you have to control the situation, your self emotion
yeah,
and tensions of others, and still influence and come to a judgment is important here.
yeah.
Strategy, I think, would have worked if it is at an earlier stage. That's what I feel.
Yeah, but in this moment also something can be strategized. So what you're saying is absolutely right. Influencing without authority is the most important skill here, because that is what you one has to do here, right? And then in order to achieve that emotional intelligence, because you have to start connecting one to one with these people, start talking to them, see what is their problem, where is the problem, what are the gaps, and then start. Then in order to bridge those gaps and all, then you'll have to start bringing your strategic thinker's hat. You'll have to wear that hat, right? That what can I do? Once you identify that what are the gaps and why these people are so disconnected and all these chaos has happened, and then accordingly we can put everything together. So if you see, I think I have captured a slide with all these things. Yeah. So actually, the second one is very important. So let's first read that. Meet with key stakeholders one to one, as I already said. Use data and customer impact. So I mean, other things, a bigger picture. No, when we start talking about that, then people understand, right? So customer impact, that what, or any other data, that what, how, why we need to collaborate, and if we don't, then what are the losses, right? So customer impact will play a very important role, and identify a neutral win-win. So somehow we'll have to do that. And when we are talking about shared thinking, sorry, strategic thinking, so shared objective. So again, showing them that what could be the shared objective. This is probably, as you already mentioned, this might not work, but at a after doing all three, let me show you the third one also. So acknowledge frustrations without judgment. I can see like making some empathetic statements. This is an empathetic statement. I can see this has been tough for your team, right? Let's solve this as one team, not three departments. So making such statements, showing empathy, showing compassion, and showing them, giving them the big picture, trying to connect dots, right? Making one understand the other person's perspective, like bridging that gap, all of those things. And for all these small things, we need to have a little bit of strategic thinking, right? So, if at all possible, then reprioritize milestones or scope if needed to protect overall value if that is required. If we feel that nothing can be achieved, then we'll have to go to that level, right? So, leadership traps to avoid: over managing and under leading, right? Managerial role takes power, and then leadership actually uh, it goes into sleeping mode. That's absolutely not correct. Not developing future leaders. One of the major responsibilities of leader is to create future leaders. So not literally leaders that they will get promotion only, will have this position, just empowering them, enabling them so that they can actually independently function. Uh, if required, obviously, they can actually do that leader's job. Ignoring emotional signals in the team. So this we have already discussed. So if you see here, lead the system, not just the team, right? If we start thinking like this, that I'm not just leading the team, I'm leading the system itself. And when we start thinking like this, then we will start thinking about other things, that what can I do to improve process? What can I do to improve the whole team spirit? What can I do to actually create more leaders? What can I do to create a good culture, whatever culture you want to bring, right? What can I do to bring better efficiency? So all of these things, leaders' role. I'll give very quick, simple example here. I delivered a session, I think 10 days back in Toyota. That was my first session in Toyota. I was so impressed, and that's why I'm quoting it. It was an advanced Excel session. I also do advanced Excel and all. So it was an advanced Excel session with little bit of Power BI and all. So once that session got over, two senior leaders came to that room, and it was like there are many batches. Every batch seniors go, and then those seniors actually spoke that what is the expectation, why this training is happening, and the entire focus was given that we want you people to become efficient. Whatever Excel work you are doing, now after this training, we want you to think that if I'm spending 30 minutes, then how can I spend only 20 minutes and make it more, become more efficient? Right. So when seniors came and said this and set the expectation very clearly after the training, I know that how that impact will be. I was so happy to see that. I can't tell you. I'm a trainer, and almost like every day I go to different places and interact with people. Very rarely I've seen leaders doing that. Right. So that was very simple thing to do, but very, very impactful. Right. So that is what it means, that lead the system, not just the team. So things should not happen, just check is that all things are happening. We should think little, we go to the next level. So summary and takeaways, leadership is evolving, so must we. Strategic thinking, influence, and emotional intelligence are key. Leadership is not a role, it's a behavior. This is a very, very powerful statement. If we absorb this and we start thinking like this, that how it can reflect in my behavior. It should not be just considered this is my role. And I should start behaving like that, and in my every behavior, it should reflect, and it actually is very, very impactful. So, for your personal reflection, I have captured this. What's one leadership behavior I will shift starting today? I want you people to reflect on this, and then uh, just leave this session with this thought that, okay, this is one leadership behavior I will shift starting today. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Hi, good evening, all. Thank you, Amita, for the wonderful session. I took a lot of takeaway from this
Yeah.
session. Thank you so much for your insightful session.
I know, so
And
that you're
even,
also a leader, right?
yeah, so
Great.
I learned many things from you, even learning still. This kind of webinar made everyone to understand, and I would like to thankful you for this taking this opportunity and guiding us on this. And I also thankful to all the leaders who dedicated your time for this webinar, and thanks for joining. And thanks for making this event more colorful with joining this. And we have given the feedback links in the chat box. I request to give a valuable feedback from your side. So it will be helpful for us to understand and improve wherever we have wanted to improve. Yeah, thank you so
Any
much.
last question anybody has? You ask.
Yeah,
We still have 4 minutes.
yeah,
If
sure,
anybody
sure.
has any question, you can raise your hand and then we'll unmute you on these topics.
Yeah, I had a quick question, Amita. Thanks for
Yeah,
a
sure,
wonderful session.
please.
Of course, a lot of good takeaways. I found this
Thank you.
stakeholder mapping metrics to be very interesting, right? So, how you map
Okay, yeah.
into apathetics, defenders, promoters.
Yeah,
How do
yeah.
we do that? Like, do you do that through just observation? Ki, ha, okay, maybe this person, or is it through survey, or is it an internal activity that hey, we just try to put them into these
So
areas?
the first step is to identify all your stakeholders. List down all your stakeholders. Okay. And then start writing. So create one Excel sheet, write down all your stakeholders, create level of interest, level of power, and then either you will get your own, you yourself will get an idea, or maybe you will have to discuss with somebody to find that out. Usually, it's not invisible kind of thing or hidden kind of thing. Usually, we know that the work what we are doing, what level of interest they have. Usually, as I said, it is related to some kind of either project or some kind of certain activity. So these stakeholders are involved in that. So in that certain activity, what is their power? How much stake they have? Or how much interest they have. That is how you have to start thinking. So work on. What's your role, if I may ask? Are you into projects and all?
Yeah, I currently head learning and development worldwide at Radicis. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So how do you all like? How do you do it? Give me
Like
some
I
idea.
Yeah, yeah. So we are a horizontal function since we are part of
Okay.
human resource management. So I work with all the BUs,
Mm,
all the BU leaders.
mm,
One of the key
mm.
stakeholders being our India managing director would be one of the key stakeholders. But I work very closely even with CEO and CHRO as well
Mm.
to
Okay.
strategize on what are the training priorities, learning priorities.
Uh, okay.
The various analysis is done. So
Yeah.
what
Okay.
is critical for us currently? What training we have to
Uh,
prioritize? What is the budget we can allocate for so and
uh,
so various
okay.
things. But I work across the
Mm,
organization, all
uh,
the way up to CEO.
okay.
So
So then, in that case,
authority
what you?
is,
Uh,
yeah, what I feel was authority is a bit more straightforward because I know that okay,
mm,
CEO has a lot of
mm,
authority directly
mm.
from the
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
an org
Mm.
structure we can
Structure.
understand at an
Yeah.
overall authority.
Uh,
But the
uh,
level of interest and certain other factors are like a bit more tougher. Like it, as you said,
yeah,
maybe
it could
through
be in your situation,
observation.
it could be.
Yeah.
So what I suggest, no, what I suggest, suppose there are certain programs, like maybe next quarter, certain programs or certain initiatives. Under those initiatives, you're trying to run certain programs, right? So that becomes one bucket. For that bucket, you create one stakeholder matrix, right? So maybe like out of these all senior people, maybe five of them, I'm just taking some hypothetical example, five of them are very interested in this initiative and this kind of programs. So their interest level is very high. Maybe three, four maybe they're not so keen on running these programs or doing these programs. So unless you have something in your mind, keep that in your mind and accordingly see what are their interests. If that is not doable, then also you have to start thinking that overall trainings, how many of them are very interested and what is their stake in that? What is their say in that? If they uh, can they really influence or can they really uh, like if you reach out to them, will they show any interest? So start thinking like this. No, you'll start getting more ideas.
Yeah. Understood.
Making
Thank you.
sense?
Yeah. Makes sense. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
Madam, one more
Please.
question. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would submit saying that we are not perfect, right? There would be different setbacks
Nobody is
while
perfect.
we.
Nobody
Yes,
is.
ma'am.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my question to you is, do you have some recommendation or do you have some steps which can be followed to make over, or is there any strategy that we need to come about to do overcome this setback, meaning there would be, it could be due to emotion, it could be misjudgment, it could be different various forms, but after the damage is done, how do we ensure that it can be, kind of, recovered? Is there any strategy, or, that's how a leader is? Meaning, I know it's a complex question, but what's your thought on that, madam?
I don't think I understood your question. So what you're saying is that some damage is done, then how to recover that or how to
If
improve
damage
ourselves?
means, yes, ma'am, nobody is
Ah,
perfect, right? You are not so cool,
ah,
calm, composed
ah,
every time. Sometimes,
yeah, yeah,
there are some,
yeah.
heaty discussions that happen, and,
Mm,
how
mm.
do we ensure that that is made over? Meaning, how do we, balance
Okay,
that to ensure
okay.
that we also become better and, play around with this
Yeah, I
four,
got
yes,
I
ma'am.
got it. I got it. So for that, what I strongly feel is communication. Communication plays very important role here. Usually, what happens, we humans have this tendency that if we have problem with somebody, we stop communicating or we start ignoring such people. But then that actually doesn't solve the problem, especially if we can't avoid such people. If we can cut off completely these people, then it makes sense. But unfortunately, if it is related to personal life, there also we cannot cut off, and personal life, professional life also we cannot cut off. So better to address that, better to handle that or confront that, right? Confront not in the sense that go and fight, confront in the sense that face that, face that
Make it
scenario.
over.
So how
Yes,
do we
ma'am.
do that? How do we do that? With communication. So have a meeting scheduled with that person, have one-to-one conversation with that person, right? Show empathy there and admit if suppose I went wrong. Very recently, I'll just share one very quick example. Very recently, one of my friends, we had gone somewhere in a trip. She did something and I really did not like it. And then she was doing that several times. She has been doing that. And that is something happened and I could not control it. So I ended up raising my voice and then I said that, okay, why do you do this? I don't like it. Please don't do this. So the way I said, no, my voice was raised. So that moment I felt it is okay because I was really annoyed. After 2, 3 hours, then I realized that, okay, she hurt me, she disturbed me. That was, I mean, for me to feel bad, for me to feel angry was absolutely fine, right? But then what I did, I raised my voice. That was incorrect. So what I did, I went to her and I said that I'm sorry for raising my voice. I'm sorry, I should not have talked to you like that. But please, it's a request that please never do this because that is very hurtful to me. So I said sorry for the wrongdoing. My wrongdoing was only the way I communicated. But the reason why I communicated, that was, I stood by that. So I still conveyed that. And she finally understood that, okay, at least saying sorry. So the point I'm trying to make here is that if at all we have gone wrong somewhere, there's nothing wrong in saying that I have gone wrong here. However, if I have to make a point, let me do that also.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Make sense? And I wish I had a
Absolutely, ma'am.
lot of time. And
Absolutely, ma'am.
a lot,
Absolutely.
a lot can be done here. But then communication is the we learn. Communication is the key here, and learn how to communicate effectively. That's something called assertive communication. How assertively we can communicate. We can say what we have to say without hurting somebody or without putting myself down. So assertively, how I can communicate. With communication, I can resolve. And we can also talk about the intent. In such situations, no intent, talking about intent is also very helpful. That my intention was not this, but then I ended up doing this. I'm sorry about that. Right? Or I want to bring this, I want to talk to you, or I want to mend this so that in future we share a better working relationship or something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you.
So thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Surbi, Nitya, Lingaraj, all of you. And thank you, everybody, for your presence here. And special Sharat left. I wanted to thank him. And you, Karuna Karan, you added a lot of value. You spoke, you kept the session alive. So special thanks to you. And thank you, everybody. I would like to end this session by another quote. You saw that I love quotes. So the quote is, if you continue to do the same thing, you will continue to get the same result. If you want to do something differently, if you want different results, you'll have to do something differently. Okay. With this, Let's say tata bye to each other. Maybe we'll see each other in some other session, some other time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, Amita. Thanks a lot. And participants, I'll share all the handouts and recordings and all the details over the email. We'll share. Our team will be sharing it. And if any concerns, you guys can reach out to us. We are there to assist. And thank you once again for attending this webinar and making this day very colorful. Thank you, Amita, for your wonderful session. I'm taking a lot of takeaways from this session. So let me implement and I'll come back to you with my
Sure.
updates.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay.
Have a wonderful evening.